Let's begin with having you lie on the floor, arms long. If you're comfortable, let your legs be long. And just take a moment to check in. How am I now? What parts of yourself are you able to easily let go into the floor? Where do you really feel supported, safe, comfortable? And contrast that with any parts of your body that aren't as comfortable. Maybe they're lifted away from the floor, or you're experiencing a tightness or a discomfort. Notice those parts of your body. And bring your attention to the right side of your body, your right shoulder and shoulder blade, the right side of your ribs, your low back and abdomen, your right buttocks and hip, the leg, the knee, the ankle, and the right foot. And compare the sensations of the right side of your body, parts of it that are comfortable and relaxed, parts that are more lifted and tense. Compare those sensations with how you're experiencing the left side of your body, the left shoulder and arm, the ribs, the back and the front of your trunk, and the side, your hip, your left leg, the weight of your heels, and your left foot compared to your right foot. And then one leg at a time, please bend your knees up. And just notice how you feel your breath entering your lungs, lifting and lowering your chest, your upper and lower abdomen. And just follow that a few times. And notice which lifts more with the inhalation. Does your abdomen lift towards the ceiling or press towards the ceiling? Or is there more elevation in your upper ribs, your chest, with your inhalation? And which depresses more? Which lowers more with the exhalation? The lower abdomen or the chest? And then on purpose, let your inhalation go with an abdominal kind of breathing. So as you inhale, you gently press your lower abdomen out a little bit. And you let it drop with the exhalation. And then a few times do the inhalation, letting the chest and the ribs lift more, keeping the abdomen more still and silent, letting the upper part of your trunk lift and lower. Good. And then just pause and let the breathing happen naturally. And then bring your attention to your left foot, so your knees are bent. Left foot is flat on the floor. And just very gently begin pressing the left foot a little bit more into the floor and releasing, as though the sole of your foot is gently saying hello to the floor, hello to the support beneath it. And as you press with the left foot, notice what parts of the foot naturally increase the pressure first. You tend to press more through your heel or the ball of your foot, through the outside or the inside. And then grow that movement so that as your foot presses, you can feel the pressure translating up your left leg, connecting your left leg more firmly through your left hip with your pelvis. So you press with the foot, the left leg responds, and feel the left side of your pelvis begin to gently lift off the floor as you press, and lower back to the floor as you release. It doesn't have to be a big movement. It might even, for many of you, be the kind of movement that isn't perceptible to somebody watching. But you can feel the essence of that connection, of that left foot pressing and the potential of the left hip rising. Keeping it very light and easy, effortless. Feeling where there's resistance and just staying within that range that's light and easy. Learning not to push past those first signs of resistance. So much of what we do in life is pushing, doing a little more, a little faster, staying up a little later, getting up a little earlier, doing one more errand, checking one more email. And in these lessons, one of our aims is to teach you to really listen to that first place of resistance and gently explore it and play with it and be present to it so that either it softens or you soften your agenda to push past it. And then just rest your left leg. You can let your legs down long for a moment if you'd like. If that's not comfortable for your low back, you can keep them bent. But in this resting position, just notice any changes between how you sense your left leg and your right leg, the left and right sides of your pelvis. And then again, one leg at a time, bend your knees up, please. And this time I want you to bring your attention to the right lower quadrant of your trunk. So below your belly button and on the right, in front of your abdomen, in your pelvis, to your pubic bone, around to the right buttock. And what I want you to do is I want you to inhale and imagine as though the inhalation is breathing right into that right lower quadrant. So you're filling it with air in your imagination, and as you exhale, the air goes out of that area of your body. And bring your attention to as much detail of that area as possible, as though the air is filling into the back side of your lower abdomen, into your right hip, your lower back, the groin area, the inside of your thigh, just filling and emptying that whole right side. And let your right leg down long. And just continue breathing into that right lower quadrant. And just feel if there's any movement associated. Does the leg want to roll just slightly? Again, probably imperceptibly to anyone looking, but as you breathe in, does the leg want to roll a little in or out? Does your waist seem to fill with air to the side? And then continue breathing as you are into that right lower quadrant. And as you breathe in, begin to gently press with your left foot. And as you breathe out, release the left foot. You press with the left foot, and you might feel the left side of your pelvis lift just a little bit, as though the air that you're breathing into that right lower quadrant is filling and sort of rolling you a little bit right. You're getting lopsided with the abundance of air that you're breathing into that right side. And then just rest a moment. Let your breath come normally, naturally into your trunk. Let your legs down long. Just feel any sensations that are available to you lying here. As you let yourself breathe naturally, is there still a sense of asymmetry in your breathing? Do you sense your legs any differently as you lie here? The weight of the right and left legs, the length, the quality of how they're resting. And then again, please bend your knees up. And then this time begin to breathe into what I call the right upper quadrant. So above the belly button, into the ribs and chest, the right side of the sternum, into the right shoulder, the upper back on the right, the front side of the shoulder blade, the ribs and back. So imagine with each inhalation that you're inflating that right upper quadrant. It's as if you can imagine that with the inhalation, with the air, you're sort of painting the inside of your right chest, the ribs, the sternum, the shoulder blade. Maybe even the right side of the neck a little bit, where it connects into the upper back. And expand your awareness into the right side of your body as you breathe into that right upper quadrant. If you were to let your neck go, would your head want to roll a little bit to the right, or does it feel at ease just staying in the middle? Just play a little bit as you breathe into that right upper side. Is your head invited to go along? Does your arm want to roll a little bit up or down with the inhalations and exhalations? As the breathing lifts and lowers the ribs, is there any influence of those skeletal parts moving and influencing the skeleton in your neck and your right arm? And if it's comfortable, place your right arm out to the side in the direction of being over your head. But if you've got really great range of motion, you can place it on the floor above your head. But if you want to just angle it out to the side a little bit, preferably above 90 degrees, that would be great. It's a little higher for some of you, but only if you're able. If 90 degrees is as far as you can go easily and comfortable, that's nice, that's fine. And then begin to breathe into that right upper quadrant and purposely let your head roll to the right and let that right arm lengthen a little bit. Breathing in and lengthening. So the inhalation takes those ribs, lengthens them, lengthens the right arm, and then it all shortens again with the exhalation. So the right arm is out to the side and possibly in the direction of being overhead just a little bit. Yeah, good. Breathing into that right upper quadrant, feeling the whole right side begin to lengthen. Imagining the breath filling the ribs and even extending through the shoulder and into the arm and out the fingertips. And then letting the breath come back in and out through your mouth, or sometimes I like to imagine the breath coming out the top of that head with the exhalation. So I bring the breath into my trunk, into that right upper quadrant in my arm and fingertips, and back out through my neck, out the top of my head. Good. And then just let your arm down, let your legs down, and just feel the quality of your right side now as you rest here. Feel how your breath enters the right side of your body and the left side of your body. Is there a sense of differences in expansion in the right abdomen compared to the left, the right ribs in front and in the sides compared to the left? Maybe even a different sense of the breath in the low back from side to side. And then bend up just the left knee. Bring the right arm again out to the side and a bit overhead. And this time breathe into the whole right side. So as you inhale, imagine the breath filling the right chest, shoulder, shoulder blade, the abdomen, the low back, into the right hip. So it's as if you're breathing into the whole right side of your trunk. And it's just filling with air, opening the ribs on the right side, Your head may be invited to roll a little bit to the right. And with each inhalation, allow your left foot to gently press, lifting your left hip up and just allowing you to roll a little bit in the direction of the right side. And for some of you, you may easily begin to roll onto your right side. And for others of you, you may just be heading that direction. It may be very subtle. All movements, large and small, accepted here. Isn't there a book, All Creatures Big and Small? So breathing in, filling, imagining the air filling beyond the right side of the trunk into the right arm, the right leg, pulling you over to the right, rolling a little bit that direction and coming back onto your backs. Letting the left foot gently press with the inhalation. And then release as everything comes back to neutral. And then just let your arm down and rest. And go ahead and bend both knees up. And begin imagining the left lower quadrant. So as you breathe in, begin to paint with your breath the inside of the front lower abdomen, the inside of the hip joint and the pelvis, the pubic bone, the lower back, everything below the belly button and ribs, that whole left lower quadrant filling with air. As you breathe in, begin to lower your left leg so it's down long. And continue breathing, letting the breath fill the left lower quadrant, filling the left leg, as if the air is actually tilting you towards the left. And when it just feels natural, you can begin to gently press a little bit through the right foot. Feel that connection from the pressure of the right foot to the right hip, and letting that right leg support just a gentle rolling to the left as you imagine the air filling that left lower side. Imagine the leg getting a little longer each time you breathe in and you roll a little bit. There's actually a way you can make the leg a little shorter as you roll, and there's a way you can lengthen the leg a little bit. See if you can discover both and then allow yourself to go with the lengthening of that left leg. And rest. Let your legs down long. And bend your right leg up again, please. And begin filling the left upper quadrant. So the air comes in and fills the ribs in front, The ribs in the side, the ones right under the armpit. The breath goes right into the left shoulder, front side of the shoulder blade, that whole upper back, neck area, filling and emptying. In your own time, begin to take your left arm and extend it out to the side and a little bit overhead so it's resting comfortably on the floor. And just keep growing the breath into that left upper quadrant, into the shoulder, letting the left arm begin to lengthen a little bit with each inhalation and come back to rest with your exhalation. Again, if there's any shoulder discomfort or tightness, there's no need to bring it up to even shoulder height. The lesson will be perfectly satisfactory even if you need to keep your arm to your side. No need to remind the brain of patterns of pain and resistance. And then begin to grow that movement by pressing through your right foot as you inhale, letting the inhalation go into the whole left side, the left upper quadrant, the left lower quadrant, the left arm and fingers, leg and toes. With each inhalation, the left side fills as though you're a helium balloon, and you begin tipping towards the left as the right foot gently presses you that direction. And with the exhalation, the left side is emptied of air and you come back to neutral, filling and emptying. You continue the movement, feel the whole left side lengthening as the ribs come closer to the floor, which you can sense whether you're doing a very slight roll or a big roll onto your left side. Imagine extending that inhalation further out to the left side of the room. So you begin extending your sense of the left side of your room beyond the boundaries of your body, towards the wall to the left, into the space beyond the wall. How far can you easily extend your attention to the left? And for those of you where the rolling comes easily, don't worry about it if it's not, but feel what happens up through your trunk, your spine, your head. Does your head just roll left, or does it begin to look upward as if you're going to look towards your hand a little bit? So just let your head go as you press through that right foot and you let the air fill that whole left side. If the rolling is coming to you easily, just let your head begin to look over and up towards your left hand. And then just come back to neutral. Let your arm down, let your legs down, and just rest for a moment. And feel the influence. Feel your sense of your right and left sides. Feel how you sense yourself in the room. The space to your left and the space to your right. Feel how your trunk and abdomen fill with air. The right sides and the left sides. The front side and the back side. Bend your knees up. And this time, let both the right and the left sides of your lower abdomen fill with air as you breathe in. So you're really letting your lower abdomen expand with the inhalation. You might feel your pelvis roll forward a little bit with the inhale and roll back to neutral with the exhale. Just imagine as you inhale, your pelvis is sort of like a bowl. And the front of the bowl is actually shallower. Your pubic bone doesn't come up as high as the back side of your pelvis where your sacrum is. So imagine that as your pelvis fills with air, it's as if it's water and it's rocking forward and spilling forward over the top of your pubic bone. And as you exhale, the air comes back up through your trunk and out the top of your head. Inhaling, filling the abdomen, spilling it over the top of the pubic bone. Letting the lower back arch gently away from the floor. And exhaling, letting the pelvis come back to neutral. Good. And then just rest your breath for a minute with no particular intention. Just breathing. Just being. Then place both your arms out to the side on the floor, a little bit upward if that's easy and comfortable for you. Just as high as you can. And then begin to breathe in and fill up the right side of your body, pressing with your left foot, allowing that little bit of rolling to the right. Breathing out and coming back to neutral. And then next time you breathe in again, fill the left side up, pressing through the right foot, filling the left hip and pelvis, the ribs, the shoulder, the front side, the back side, letting your head roll and follow. So breathing in, filling and rolling to one side, coming back to neutral, and then breathing in and rolling to the other side. And each time extending your attention a little further out into your arm and leg, a little further out from side to side into the room, towards the walls on either side of you, towards the great outdoors on the other side of the walls. And then coming back to neutral, coming to your centered place, and extending yourself and your intention again out to one side and then the other side. And then just come back to the middle, let your arms down, let your legs down, and scan how you are now. What parts of you are resting easily and comfortably into the floor? Letting gravity hold you gently here on your mat, on this earth. Where might there still be places of tightness or resistance? And then return your attention back to the places that are pleasurable, that are soft, open, changed or shifted. And if you were to name for yourself some feelings that you would associate with the state that you're in right now, just think a few feeling thoughts to yourself about how you're experiencing yourself right here, right now. And then come back to the sensations in your body and really take your time to slowly roll to your side and sit up. Come to standing. Sense yourself in standing in the space in the room that you're in. Take your time to walk around. And once you're walking, again, notice what are the physical sensations that you're experiencing and any feelings that you associate with those sensations. And I hope you enjoy your sensations and your